What's happening? We're back. UFC Fight Night. Alex Perez taking on Taira. Before we start, if you guys need a place to bet, BetUS, promo code Iceman. You already know. Last week, we had, I think we went about 80-90% on our picks. We hit some. Especially, a lot of people were messaging me that I was crazy for taking Imavov. But Imavov pulled through, man. Not going to lie. Even odds, it was a good bet, I thought. You know, being a 40-year-old cannoneer. Now, was that fight early stoppage? 100% early, right? But two things happens when something like this happens. So, number one is he's going to lose a bad position, right? He was ranked number 4. He's 40 years old. Now he's got a long way back to the title. You know, you lose a couple. You know, you lose to a guy like Imavov. Now you got to get back in there. And at 40, it's tough, right? So in a way, you got to let it go a bit. And it's main event. I get it. But at the same time, the way he was hurt, he was very hurt on the feet. You're talking, if the ref lets it go on, there's about an 80% chance that he gets flatlined, right? If the refs let that go, about 80% chance that he's going to go completely unconscious. And that's going to be worse for him in the long run, right? That's not his health, but now you're going to be out even longer if you get flatlined. You know, you go in there, you got caught by a good shot, boom, early stoppage. The ref did save him health-wise, right? Financially wise, and like position in the rankings, obviously, you know, not so much. But health-wise, I think it sort of helped Cannonier, you know? Because he, in my opinion, he looked like he was about to get flatlined. He had about 80% chance, I think, he was about to get flatlined. 15% chance maybe he makes it to the decision, and maybe a 5% chance that he comes back and wins. Very small. Against a guy like Imavov, I don't think that was going to happen. So, you know, bad stoppage, 100%. Did it save him some years off his life? 100%. Absolutely. But this weekend, my boy Tatsuro Taira, I've been talking about this guy before he was even in the UFC, when he was like super young. I've been talking about this guy and you guys who've been following me for a while, you guys know. I've been taking him every single fight, and I'm going to continue to do that, even though this might be a bad matchup for him, because Alex Perez has very good takedown defense. And he fought, in my opinion, you know, the number one guy in that division, Muhammad Mokaev. And Muhammad Mokaev did not look very good against Alex Perez. I know he was saying he was dealing with injuries or staff or whatever the excuse may be. But at the end of the day, he went in there and he fought Perez. Did he win the fight? He did. But he did not look impressive. And Alex Perez has, you know, looked super impressive his last fight, man. He came in there and destroyed Mateus Nicolau. And we actually bet him that fight. I bet Alex Perez, and I believe he was an underdog when I took him, and I posted that bet because I was so impressed what he did with Muhammad Mokaev. And this is a similar fight because he's going to go in there and, you know, Tatsuro Taira is going to do what? He's going to try to take him down. He's got a very good heavy top game. Great jiu-jitsu. His striking's okay, but Tatsuro Taira is really looking to grapple, and Perez is hard to take down, man. Hard to take down. I'm very interested in seeing this fight because he's been looking very good as of recently. And the thing with Taira, he's been undefeated, phenomenal, right? The guy's been looking flawless. He's, you know, Japan's, I believe, number 1 fighter. And, you know, he hasn't really, you know, had any adversity, man. The guy's, in his amateur career, he just destroyed everyone. Went 8-0 in his amateur career. And then, you know, he's 15-0 in MMA. The guy's, you know, he's just destroying everyone. So if he can get past Alex Perez, man, now you're talking he's going to be fighting top 5 guys now. If he can get out through Alex Perez, now you got to throw him in there with the, you know, the Alexander, not maybe even not Pantoja, but like even a Kaikar Francis and the Amir Albazis, the Askarovs, the Brandon Morenos. You're going to have to start throwing him with those guys after, if he can get past Alex Perez. And I think he does. He's slightly a favorite, minus 185. So I think he gets it done. It's going to be a tight one, though. I think it might go decision because Alex Perez, he's been looking good, man. He's a gamer, too. Up next, Ikram Aliskerov taking on Antonio Trocoli. If you guys don't know Antonio Trocoli, he is the new boyfriend, I believe, of Mackenzie Dern. And that's sort of how he got his way into this position here. Unfortunately for him, he's fighting a destroyer in Ikram Aliskerov. Ikram Aliskerov has just been flawless other than that Whiten fight he had with Khamzat Chimaev. And Khamzat Chimaev is a monster, bro. Monster. And, it's no shame losing to Khamzat Chimaev. And other than that, Ikram's been phenomenal. He even stuffed Khamzat's takedowns. He's probably the only guy I've seen in the first round who Khamzat had a hard time taking down in the first round. That's because, he's got a very good, sambo background. Incredible game. Incredible. Let's see here. So I'll go with he's a huge favorite too, Aliskerov, but I'll go with Timmy Gamboa taking on Lucas Almeida. Timmy here, I haven't seen too much of him. I seen him on that Contender Series. He won on the Contender Series. And then his last fight, he lost a split decision. All right, and now he's taking on Lucas Almeida. He's just got destroyed by Andre Fili, and before that, he got destroyed by Pat Sabatini. So this fight, I don't really know. He's fighting better dudes than Timmy. I don't really know on this one. I'm sort of leaning towards Timmy, but I'll go with Timmy on that one. But I'm not confident in that one at all. Douglas Silva, Deandra taking on Miles Johns. Both guys been doing the damn thing. Miles Johns, he's had some pretty good wins, man. He's beat Adrian Yanez, beat Coltrane, beat Vince Morales, Cody Gibson. He's had a couple bad fights where, he got that flying knee knockout when he got knocked out by Bautista, and John Castaneda beat him up, choked him out. And now he's fighting, another Brazilian, Douglas Silva Deandra, who's, 38 years old, but he's been killing it, man. He's, beat Cody Stamen, had to beat Renan Barão back in the day in 2019. All right, that was the OG in the bantamweight division. Douglas Silva Deandra, even's got, he's got a win over, Chito Vera. He's got some pretty decent wins. Coming off a win himself, I'm sort of leaning towards Douglas Silva Deandra on that one. That's all I'll take. Asu Almabayev, I believe he trains with our boy Shavkat. I believe he's from Kazakhstan. Yeah, born in Kazakhstan, and he's been, on a roll. He's got a nice little win streak going. Hasn't lost since 2017, so undefeated in the last 7 years. 15 wins in a row. I got to go with him. He's a huge favorite as well, so I'll bet Asu Almabayev on that one. And look at the height difference. Geez, so Jose Johnson, 6 foot tall for 125. That might be the tallest 125er. And then, Asu only 5'4", and he's a huge favorite. 5'4", that's crazy. Crazy. And the last one I'm going to touch on, I'll take Nate Maness. Should just destroy Jimmy Flick here. Last one I was going to touch on is this one, Tagir Ulenbekov. So if you guys don't know Tagir Ulenbekov, he's training partners, and he grew up training with the Dagestani boys, Islam and Khabib. He used to train under Abdul Manap, Habib's dad. Very good fighter. He just hasn't really lived up to the expectation in the UFC. He was killing it on the Fight Night Global and the Russian scene, GFC, but then he just hasn't done it in the UFC, and they actually have a common opponent in Zhalgas Zhumagulov, who was in the UFC, didn't really live up to the hype, and Joshua Van actually beat Zhalgas, and Ulenbekov lost to Zhalgas in 2018, about 6 years ago, but Zhalgas has not looked the same in the UFC. And that one fight Tagir had with Tim Elliott where Khabib was just screaming at him just did not look good against Tim Elliott, but I don't think Joshua Van is on that same level. So I'm going to go with Tagir Ulenbekov, but hopefully Tagir can everyone, had a lot of hype. Everyone was saying how good he is in training, so hopefully he can live up to that hype, man. And yeah, just stay tuned because this week's okay. These fights are going to be good. But the next 2 weeks, when you got Khamzat, Whitaker, and then you got the heavies, Conor McGregor and Chandler, if that fight goes through, which I'm assuming it probably will, 90% chance it probably will. So let's do it. Out.